Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. A brand new Mario & Luigi game is readily available for us to play. Mario & Luigi Brothership. Now, I know you guys really liked my last Mario & Luigi video, which, holy shit, thank you so much for all the love. So I have returned to talk about the latest entry in the beloved RPG franchise. Now, before we go any further, I have to give a warning that this video will have spoilers. So if you haven't finished the game and don't want to be spoiled, click off the video now. But for those of you who have finished it, or just don't mind spoilers, let's dive right in and find out what Mario & Luigi Brothership meant to me. You see what I did there? So, for a bit of background, Mario & Luigi Brothership is the 6th entry in the series, excluding remakes. But it's a first for many things. It's the first to be on a home console rather than a handheld, and the first to not be developed by Alpha Dream due to the company shutting down. Instead, Brothership is developed by Acquire, the studio behind Octopath Traveler, so they definitely know their way around RPGs. So with these new changes in mind, how does the game compare? Well, let's find out. First, let's take a look at the story. When Mario and Luigi get isekai to the mystical world of Concordia, the bros nearly get separated until they reunite on a ship-shaped island called Ship-Shape Island. Kinda on the nose there, huh? Here they meet Connie, who informs them of the unit tree, which uses energy called Connector to connect all of Concordia. And I just need to take a moment to say how clever of a pun that is. Honestly, a lot of the electrical puns in this game are pretty funny. Connie is also called a Watanist. That's good. That's a good pun. Unfortunately, the unit tree has been destroyed, causing the different lands of Concordia to split and drift apart. Now, Mario and Luigi must use their brotherly bond to reconnect the broken world and save it from the mysterious threat that hides in the shadows. They also meet Snoutlet, who serves as Mario and Luigi's travel companion, taking over the Starlo role from the previous games. And remember, he's definitely not a pig. Anyway, I love Snoutlet, he's great. There are a bunch of new faces in this game as well as old. Of course, Peach and Bowser return, but hey, Starlo's here too. She wasn't forgotten after all. Good to see you, Chippy. But as far as the new characters, we've got the aforementioned Snoutlet and Connie, but there's also the scientist Technicky, who just might be my favorite in the new cast. She's so quirky and funny, and I just love her. We also meet a group of kids that form a team called Idol, and in most games, these characters may have been annoying, but here they're actually really charming. There's a scene later in the game where they put themselves into danger to help the bros, and I was actually kinda worried about them. There's also Bernadette and Chilliam, who are lovers and allies of the bros as well. We even get to see their wedding later on, and it's very wholesome. As mentioned previously, Peach and Starlo return, and Peach, rather than being kidnapped the whole game, is a recurring ally who helps out the bros and really feels like she's part of the adventure. She even forms a really sweet bond with the Idol kids, and I love that. Starlo also usually hangs around and follows Peach, and it's here that I'd like to address a little something. In my last Mario & Luigi video, I said Starlo was a fan favorite. And while that may be true for some, there are those who find her annoying or outright hate her because of how she treats Luigi. Now, I never found her abuse of Luigi that bad, at least not in Inside Story. I always felt it was just kind of playful banter. But in Dream Team, and especially Paper Jam, they definitely upped her meanness. Again, especially Paper Jam. She fucking hates Luigi in that game. But here, they've significantly toned back her Luigi slander, and she feels more in line with her personality in Bowser's Inside Story. So for all you Starlo haters out there, I hope you found her portrayal here inoffensive at worst. And speaking of Luigi, he's kind of the unsung star of this game. Between the Luigi logic and just how much of a genuine fan of him Snoutlet is, Luigi's treatment in this game almost feels like an apology for how fucked over he was in Paper Jam. I'm glad my boy's getting the love he deserves. But it's not just good guys we meet, of course there's a few returning baddies. Bowser Jr. makes an appearance in this game, and I really like him here. It's kind of continuing his arc in Bowser Jr.'s journey, where he learns the importance of forming bonds and friendships. He becomes good friends with a kid named Buddy, but after Buddy helps Mario and Luigi, Jr. gets pissed off and doesn't want to be his friend anymore. But deep down, he still cares about him. By the end, they make up and become friends again, which makes the game's ending where they have to say goodbye actually kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of got me. But of course, you can't just have the Prince of the Koopas, no, you gotta have the big guy himself. And yes, Bowser is just as great here as he is in previous entries. Obviously nothing on the level of Inside Story, because that was his game, but he's still pretty damn good here. And speaking of Inside Story, there's actually a cute little scene where Bowser and Starlo reunite, and it's really sweet. He calls her Chippy, she even gives him a fiery drumstick. It made my Inside Story loving heart so happy. But There is one glaring issue with Bowser in this game, and that's just how fucking long it takes for him to appear. And that's kind of a major problem I have with the game in general. Despite how much I love this game and its story, I will admit that it starts very slow. The first couple of hours tend to drag, and the plot doesn't really kick in until after the first boss. And this wouldn't be that bad if not for the fact that this game is incredibly long, easily the longest Mario & Luigi game to date. Before this, the longest game in the series was Dream Team, clocking in at around 19 to 20 hours. But Brothership took me around 45 hours to finish, and I didn't even do any of the side quests. And in those 45 hours it took me to beat the game, Bowser doesn't make his first true appearance until 30 hours into the game. I'm not joking, when he made his grand appearance, I actually screamed, "Finally!" There's also a part towards the end of the game that drags, but before I talk about that, I have to bring up the game's main villains. This game's main villain is Zocket, and he's using this mysterious force called Gloam to cause people to become distant and destroy their bonds. He also has a trio of henchmen called the Extension Corps, X, Ten, and Shun, and I love all three of them. Every time they were on screen, it made me laugh. X is my favorite. Towards the end of the game, it's revealed that Zocket is actually Connie's former mentor, who has been mind-controlled by an entity known as Reclusa, and this is the game's true villain. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm going to be 100% frank with you. I fucking love Reclusa. He's so chaotic and silly and honestly kind of reminded me a little bit of Dementio, and any character who does that gets major points in my book. Reclusa's ultimate plan is to isolate everyone in their own little world. And real quick, can we talk about how fucked up this is? Oh my god, this is pretty dark. Reclusa also traps Mario and Luigi in a fantasy of the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's cool at first, but as I mentioned earlier, this part kinda drags and goes on a lot longer than it should. But all in all, if you can get past the slow start and the insane length of this game, it's one of the best stories the series has to offer, so definitely stick with it. So the story hits. How about the gameplay? Yep, this sure is a Mario & Luigi game, alright. You control the bros in the overworld and battle in action-packed turn-based combat. But there are a few changes. For starters, I'm not exactly a fan of how Luigi follows Mario like an AI-controlled NPC, rather than the duo moving as one singular unit. But Luigi can use his new Luigi logic to solve puzzles, which utilizes the L button, and alright, that's pretty clever. But Luigi logic goes beyond the overworld. During boss battles, Luigi can use his logic to exploit a boss's weakness, leading to opportunities to deal massive damage. However, there is a small issue I have with the battle system. In every previous game, all of Mario's action used the A button, and all of Luigi's action used the B button. Well, in Brothership, you select Luigi's attacks with the A button as well. And boy howdy did that fuck up my muscle memory. But other than that, the battles are some of the best in the series. The bros can now combine their jump and hammer attacks together, kind of reminding me of Superstar Saga's bros attacks, but on a much lesser scale. Oh, speaking of bros attacks, they make a return here, and they're fantastic. The new ones feel right at home, but there's also some returning ones, like the jump helmet and Yoo-Hoo cannon from Inside Story, each with a whole new unique flair to them. But bros moves are also in the overworld. The UFO spin is this game's spin jump, Partisan Time's Bros Ball returns, and there's even a Fire and Ice duo combo. The overworld in general is really fun to explore. The world of Concordia is so interesting and unique. Ship-Shape Island serves as a hub where you can return to in between islands. I will admit, at first it takes a while to get anywhere, but as the story progresses, you get upgrades to the ship to make it move faster. But while you wait, you can go fishing. This isn't important in the slightest, but I like fishing minigames, so yeah. You can also get mad bank based on the fish you catch. It's pretty sweet. Oh, and before we move on, there's one more mechanic to talk about. Battle plugs. These kind of function like the attack cards in Paper Jam, but much better. Each plug causes a different effect to occur during battle, and you can even combine the plugs for various combos. Playing around with these were so much fun and added a whole new level of strategy to the battles. So yeah, the gameplay is great, and while it does feel a little different, it's still right at home for a Mario & Luigi game. No Mario & Luigi game is complete without the series' trademark brand of humor, and I'm happy to report that this game is no different. While it doesn't quite reach the humorous highs of, say, Inside Story or Superstar Saga, it still has plenty of laugh-out-loud moments that really tickle my funny bone. I especially like this one running gag where Zakik can't remember anyone's names because he's more of a numbers guy, and I don't know, I think that's pretty funny. But the stars of this game's humor is definitely the Extension Corps. Every time these three were on screen, I knew we were in for some great hijinks. I especially like the fact that in 10's Secret Lair, he has a poster of himself. That's hilarious. I also can't talk about this game's presentation without mentioning the incredible voice performance by Kevin Afghani. Kevin has really improved as the Bros since Wonder, especially Mario. And getting to hear him do the iconic Mario Bros gibberish was an absolute delight. While I wasn't super sold on him in Wonder, his performance in both this game and Mario Party Jamboree has solidified my opinion that he was the perfect choice to be Martinet's successor. Now he just needs to work on his Wario a little bit. He's almost there, he's getting it. His Waluigi though? Holy shit, nailed it first try. His Waluigi is fantastic. Oh man, now I want to play Mario Party Jamboree. Seriously, that game is so good. Definitely in my top Mario parties for sure. Great roster, fun boards and minigames. I mean, that one board that's just a shopping mall is easily one of my favorites in the entire series. Of course, the returning ones from Mario Party 1 and 2, all the returning minigames and brand new minigames, and the ally minigames. Oh my god, it's so good. Great to have Mario Party back. What was I doing again? Right, I'm talking about Brothership. Mario & Luigi Brothership is nothing short of beautiful. The art direction is so pretty and charming, and I love looking at it. Each location is unique, each of the enemies have fun designs, and they really play with the electrical theme here, and it's so cool. Now, there are certain times where the frame rate does dip a little bit, but I didn't personally find it that noticeable and or that detrimental to my overall experience. And of course, you can't have a Mario & Luigi game without an amazing soundtrack. You know what time it is. Time for another banger score by Yoko Shimomura. What was that? She didn't come back for this one? Why the fuck not? So yeah, in the most detrimental part of this game, Yoko Shimomura did not return to compose the game's soundtrack. Instead, it was composed by Hideki Sakamoto, who provided the music for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, Space, and Sky, and was the music director on Castlevania Judgment, which, as some of you may know, is one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. So he clearly has a good resume when it comes to great video game music. And while his soundtrack here is good, it doesn't quite reach Yoko's level. I don't know, maybe it's just my bias talking, but don't get me wrong, the soundtrack here is really good and has bangers, and it comes very close to Yoko's heights at times. Hell, when I first heard the battle theme, I thought it was Yoko. But other tracks just don't hit that same feeling. Overall, while Yoko's absence is surely missed, the presentation and music of Mario & Luigi Brothership is still really good. And honestly, Mario & Luigi Brothership is really good just in general. This game is a great return to an iconic series. The gameplay, story, characters, and music are all great additions to this beloved series. I had an absolute blast playing this game from start to finish, all 45 hours of it. And I really hope this means the series is here to stay. So what did you think of Mario & Luigi Brothership? Did you like it as much as the originals? Did you think it was even better? For me, I'd probably put this one in between Dream Team and Partners in Time. It's a genuinely solid experience, but could have been a little bit shorter. Still, I'm so happy this series is back, and I eagerly await the next entry. Welcome back, Mario & Luigi. Man, did we fucking miss you. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like to let me know. Comment below what you thought of Mario & Luigi Brothership. Subscribe to see more videos from me in the future, and hit the bell to get notified when I upload said future videos, whenever I decide that is. And thanks again for all the love in the last Mario & Luigi video. It's still one of my favorites, and I'm glad the reception was so positive. Thanks again for watching. I'm Shaze64, and remember, Snoutlet is definitely not a pig.